Yep, Independence is a vibe. I'm Travis.
And I'm Chris.
Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video.
And don't forget to catch us on Instagram at Independence is a Vibe, because you know that it is.
Yes, sir.
And so always, y'all know we always got some kind of topic. And so today's topic is how to feel comfortable in unfamiliar spaces. Interesting, right? Because I think every human being, you've pretty much been in some unfamiliar spaces and was uncomfortable.
Some sticky situations, huh?
Right. But I think when you're disabled, I think you tend to run into unfamiliar spaces a good bit.
Yeah.
You know, would you say that you do?
I would agree.
Yeah, and just to kick things off, I think, like, for me, the first day of school, when I'm new to a school and stuff like that, like elementary, right? Your first day of elementary school.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? When I got to sixth grade, my first day of middle school.
Mm-hmm.
Ninth grade, your first day of high school. You physically in an unfamiliar space.
Yeah.
But then, for me and other people like myself, physically disabled, I have, devices that you can physically see.
Mm-hmm.
And I gotta go into a room with multiple people that are not like me.
Yeah.
So that's an unfamiliar space. It's an unfamiliar territory.
That's your time to shine.
I mean, yeah. Of course, when I was a kid, I didn't see it that way.
Yeah.
Of course, being grown now, it don't affect me. You know what I'm saying? So, and so we just gonna kind of talk about some tips that might have helped us in those situations.
I feel like for college, man, it was like that for me. Like
Okay.
going to like a new, like a big university or whatever.
Right.
So I'm like, man, if I'm thinking about my classes, like, are they gonna be like real spread out or whatever? Like what if I got two classes like back to back?
And they far apart.
Yeah, and they far apart. Like how I'm gonna get there on time. So I was thinking about things like that.
Okay.
If it's gonna be accessible.
That's another big one.
If I gotta take an elevator to get upstairs to the classroom, like what if the elevator be out of service or something?
Then they bring the class down to you.
Yeah, but I'm saying like I gotta get somebody to go up there first. Like find somebody, like hey, go to this class and tell the professor the elevator out. I can't get up there. So I was just thinking about all kind of things,
Yeah, and that if I'm giving tips, I think that's my first tip is don't let your mind run away with you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When I was a kid, I can remember my first day of elementary, my first day of middle school, going in with the mindset like I'm gonna be different, so these kids might pick on me. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And it made me kind of ice up, like, hey, if I'm quiet, I kind of melt into the background. Maybe nobody will notice me.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Don't go into it with that mentality. One thing that really helped me as far as school was my teachers.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody that really know me, I always take my hat off to people that work in the school system because they deal with a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Working with other people's children.
Yeah.
But my teachers, I always remember, when I came into class, they saw the crutches and they heard, the kids snickering and pointing and stuff like that. And they were like, hey, this is Chris. Everybody, tell Chris hello. And if y'all would notice, Chris is a little bit different. He walks with crutches. But he's no different than the rest of you. You see what I'm saying? Like, and at first I felt like, dang, man, you gonna put me on the spot like that?
Yeah, it's kind of like that. But she kind of like breaking the ice.
Right. Because I was thinking like hide in the background, don't say much, just sit in the back. And she made me, come up to the front and she was like, hey, I'm with you. You know what I'm saying? You good.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that's a good thing to kind of help you, like, get out of your shell and maybe make some friends,
Yeah, because after she did that, I went back to the back table, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, that was my spot because it was close to the door to get in and out, which made it easier for me. And then I didn't have to worry about being stuck on a row, trying to maneuver with the crutches through rows of desks. Yeah. So that's why she kind of put me at the back table, which was cool. But then after she kind of introduced me and we had different little centers to go to and all of that, man, kids was coming up to me and they was like, so tell me about those things you walk with, tell me.
It's like a conversation starter.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Hey, what happened to you? Can I ask what happened? And it just kind of started from there. And like you said, I did, make a lot of friends. So the teachers was the biggest thing that helped me as far as like school. Now, by the time I got to high school, I was, I wasn't phased by being the only one that looked like me when I walk into class.
You was a man in that moment.
Something like that.
I run this school.
But elementary and middle school was rough. I was scared, that first day. But, the teachers, that's why I say my first tip, like sometimes it's good to be that authority figure. And especially when you're dealing with children. If you're the teacher, like, take over that situation. Of course, pull that child on the side while everybody kind of running bunkers and be like, hey, is it okay if I introduce you to everybody?
Yeah.
Because that child may not want to just be up in front of everybody.
Right.
But if you kind of force them to, hey, it's okay to come up in front of everybody so they can see you.
Like, put you out there that way, because you probably feel like you wasn't going to do it yourself. So, I mean, hey, let's go ahead and break the ice and,
Exactly.
let everybody know who you are. If they want to help you make some friends or whatever.
Right.
So I kind of understand why she did.
Yeah, and I was glad she did.
Yeah.
I was glad because now, at this point when I went to the next grade, I kind of knew, if the teacher don't introduce me, I can introduce myself. Because also what I found out is even when you don't want to draw no attention to yourself, it's gonna happen.
Yeah,
it's gonna happen.
We stick out like a sore thumb.
Even when you don't want to, it's gonna happen. Yeah. So when I realized that, it's like, you know what? Like you say, just get it over with.
Yeah.
Yes, my name is Chris. These are my crutches. I was born with it, whatever, and just go from there.
Oh.
Because I learned also too, and which bring me to tip number 3. Not every situation that's unfamiliar have to be something negative.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You could go into an unfamiliar situation and everything be positive from beginning to end. Because that's what happened with me too in middle school. Yeah. I thought that people was going to pick on me and stuff like that because in elementary school they did. When I got to middle school, the kids were older, they were a little more mature. So when I walked into class, you know what I'm saying? One kid came up to me and was like, man, my brother walked with crutches like you. Just like that. And I'm like, oh, well, cool. My name is Chris. And he said his name. And, when I picked my seat and sat down, he came and sat next to me. And he was like, man, you just remind me so much of my brother. Like, he do this at home and he do that. You be having to do this. You be needing help with that. Like, and he just started, like, firing off questions. You know what I'm saying?
See, that's the thing. I mean, you might be somebody who has a family member, that's dealing with the same situation, and then, boom, y'all spark up a conversation.
Yep.
You feel like, oh, I ain't the only one,
Right. When a person did pick on me, you know what I'm saying? Like, tried to crack a joke in front of the whole class or whatever. This one girl, she stood up and she was like, man, leave him alone. You always saying something about somebody, you know what I'm saying? Like, leave him. If you gonna mess with anybody, it could be anybody else, but not him.
Uh-oh.
And the whole class was like, yeah, not him, and I'm just like, wow. Like, I wasn't expecting that, you know what I'm saying? So,
boy, rolling deep.
Yeah, that started a few things, but
deep in that mud, huh?
Yeah. So I'm like, and that's when I learned, like, my mindset was the reason why I was so messed up.
Yeah.
Because I'm so scared that, oh, they're gonna point me out, they're gonna pick on me. No, I'm gonna just stay here in the background. Yeah. And it's like, nah, I should have been out in front. You know what I'm saying? Just go ahead and rip it off like a Band-Aid, and you'll see that it's not that bad.
Yeah. I think it's better to be different, though, man.
I do too. Now, it's times I hate being physically different.
Yeah, it might be times, but
especially like going in small spaces or like places where it's a lot of kids running around, I hate it.
But a lot of times it's a lot of privilege too, though.
It is. That
it's a lot of privilege, man.
It is. Man. And then see too, like in a school situation, it's a lot that people who not disabled can learn from you if you okay with being the center of attention. Because again, I remember in elementary school, I want to say my 4th grade teacher.
Yeah.
We was in class one morning and she just got up and she was like, at this point, no, it was 2nd grade. Because in 1st grade I had a walker. In 2nd grade I was in a wheelchair. And then 3rd grade on up, I had crutches. So when I was in the wheelchair, my teacher was like, "Class, we're gonna do something a little different today. I need everybody to put your book sacks down." And she was like, "We all going to the basketball court." And I was like, "She not a PE teacher. Why are we going to the basketball court?"
Right.
So we get out there and there's nobody on the basketball court but our class. And she was like, "Okay, Chris, come here." Right? And I'm in the wheelchair. And so I went by the teacher and she had me and her stand, side by side, and the rest of the class sitting on the concrete in front of us. And she said, Are you able to slide out the chair and sit down like in the chair that I brought out?" And I was like, "Yes, ma'am." Right? So I think what happened with the wheelchair, they just wanted me in a chair for a safety precaution. That way he don't have to worry about falling or whatever. Which I don't know why they put me in a chair because I didn't need it. But
Yeah.
they put me in a chair. And the wheelchair. So I got out the wheelchair and slid into a regular chair to sit in. And she said, "What we gonna do for a little bit today, I want all of y'all to see what it's like to be in Chris' shoes." And she was like, "So who wants to go in first in the wheelchair?" And I was like, "What?" Because I'm a kid. I had never seen nothing like that.
That's a little different.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Her mind was working though.
Yeah.
Because she was like, for the ones who, she said, "I know some of y'all make jokes behind his back. I know." She said, "But I want y'all to kind of get a taste and a feel for, what he deal with."
See what it's like.
So before you get to running your mouth, maybe you ought to think about what he feel every day. So she let the kids one by one, like, get in the wheelchair and wheel themselves around the basketball court and come back.
Yeah.
Just to see how hard it is to have to push a chair all the time. What it's like to have to, like, you want to go through a space, but the chair might be too big.
Yeah.
So the kids had fun with it. They was, rolling the chair fast and stuff like that. But after that, a lot of the kids that would, like, make jokes about me and stuff, they wanted to be my friend now. "Can I push you in the chair? Do you need help?" Like, stuff like that,
Yeah.
And that's just kind of what took place to kind of help people to get the kids to see, like, the situation could be different for everybody. And I feel like that's a good way to expose kids to something that they may not see on a regular basis.
Yeah.
So that's why I say, when you are a person with a disability, and this is especially for parents who have disabled kids. Y'all know we big on that with this podcast. So, because we've been disabled kids before and we grown now.
Yeah.
So if you're a parent that have disabled children and it's gonna be your child first time going to school this upcoming school year, parent, don't be nervous. Yeah, it's a little scary, what I'm saying, but prepare your child at home. That would be my next tip.
Yeah.
Sit them down and talk to them. Let them know. Yes, kids might laugh. They may point. They may look at you funny. But not everybody's gonna do that.
Right.
You don't have to be on edge. You don't have to be worried. You don't have to be scared. You know what I'm saying?
You can't, you don't have to sit in the background too as well. Let your light shine.
Right. You was built to stand out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, just prepare them at home with the conversations. You know what I'm saying? And I would even say, like, certain things at home, let them do it. Even if they struggle with it, don't help them. Let them do it.
Yeah.
Because when they're in the classroom, you're not there as the parent to hold their hand.
Right.
So, you know what I'm saying? Let them do it.
And also, in life, in general, if they want to be independent in life.
Yes, sir.
You can't always protect them.
Right.
So.
Because they got to build that confidence up in themselves.
Got to cut the leash.
Yeah. Got to.
Yeah.
And again, this is all about, how you can be comfortable if you're in unfamiliar spaces.
Yeah.
And we focusing mainly on if you're disabled, but even if you're a human being that's uncomfortable going in new situations, take some of these tips and apply them to yourself.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff just starts here. Your mindset makes all the difference.
Yeah, I know when I went to Florida to do an internship, man, I was nervous because I'm like, man, I want to be hundreds of miles away from home, Something happened, I can't call,
I mean,
anybody.
you can call, but then we got to get out there to you. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
You ain't right around the corner, so I mean.
Hey, cause I remember like when you went out to Florida, wasn't they supposed to have some kind of storm or something? It was either finna hit Florida or something like that.
I mean, they had a hurricane while I was out there, yeah.
I remember that because we was all nervous and
Uh,
you know my family was asking me had I talked to you. Ew.
Trust me, I was getting a million phone calls, man.
I know you were.
I was getting a million phone calls. But yeah, man, when I went out there, I was nervous. I was thinking about what ifs. But I mean, I was like, man, I'm still going to do this. I'm doing it.
And he did.
So I went out there, I went to every, like, social event they had.
Mm-hmm.
Ended up making a bunch of friends, man, and it all worked out for me. I just ignored the thoughts that was happening in my head about, what if this, what if that, and just put myself out there.
And see, that's good, man. I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I can understand being apprehensive and not wanting to, put yourself out there.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're right. A lot of things can happen, and it could be very negative.
Yeah.
But also too, like you said, a lot of good stuff can happen, and
Yeah.
it could be very positive.
Right.
So I mean, I would much rather take that chance and something positive happen, because even if something negative happened, you can kind of sit back and be like, but at least I tried.
Yeah, at least I tried.
And rather than having that feeling like I ain't never tried. And,
Like, I wonder what would have happened if I did go out there. I didn't want to have that regret, man.
right.
Because I was always talking about going to Florida, man, and I got the opportunity to live out there. Like, I'm doing it.
Right. And you did it extremely well.
Yeah, if something happened, I'll just figure it out.
And that's life. Stuff happen, you got to figure it out.
Yeah, I'm just figuring it out, man. I'm like, I'm eventually meet somebody out here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have somebody to call on,
Start networking and get linked up with the right group, man. You good. Another thing I would say too, man, is if you're in a space where you're unfamiliar with it, and it could be a physical spot, you know what I'm saying? It could be just you might be new somewhere and you don't know anybody.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to go up to somebody, you know what I'm saying, and be like, hey, I need help.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? I've done that in stores. Like if it's my first time in a store and I'm, trying to get through the store and I feel like it's just too cluttered, I'll back up and go, if I see somebody passing and look like they work there, hey, excuse me, do y'all have another way where I could get to this part of the store? Because I can't fit through. The aisle is too small. There's too much stuff in the way. And people will be like, oh, well, let me, and they'll go grab somebody else and start moving stuff off the aisle. Like I had people do that.
Mm-hmm.
They was like, no, I don't go nowhere. Just stay right here.
Yeah.
And I stayed there, and they went and got other people to move stuff off the aisle, which opened up the space.
Yeah.
And I was like, y'all gonna have to put all that back, like. And it was like, oh, we'll put it back. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, that was. I wasn't expecting that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's for one, that's good customer service.
Yeah.
It makes the company look good as a brand when you got people that's willing to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why I say, if you're in an unfamiliar space, reach out to people that's there for help.
Mm-hmm.
My wife have done that for me too. Like when I go somewhere, and it's I went somewhere and it was like a lot of steps, but the steps are real narrow.
Yeah.
Her and the kids went in, and she was like, "Just stay right here. I'll be right back." I'm like, "But they got a lot of people. I don't know nobody out here.
Yeah.
I came with y'all. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If I can't go, we ain't going." No, I'm just kidding. I don't do that. You know what I'm saying? And then she was like, "Just stay right here." So my wife went in, and I stayed out there. I was out there for like maybe 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And this guy came. He was dressed like a regular person. I ain't see no company logos and nothing on his shirt. And he walked down the steps and he came straight to me. He was like, "Are you Chris?" And I said, "Yes, sir." He said, "Good. Your wife told me you was out here and you couldn't get up the steps. We do have a somewhat handicap accessible spot. The only thing is it's in our loading docks where the 18-wheelers are." He said, "So if you're okay, it's not a long walk, but it may be long. Are you able to walk long, And I was like, "Yes, sir." He said, "Okay, cool." He said, we're going to walk around the back of the building, and I'm going to let you in through the loading dock."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Okay." And then we walked all the way to the back of the building, and it was daytime. If it was dark, I wouldn't have went. But it was daytime, and he said, when we get to these double doors on the outside right here, I'm gonna leave you right here for like 30 seconds, and I'm gonna go there. He said there's a side door, but I have a key to unlock it. I'm gonna go through the side door, and then I'm gonna come open these double doors and let you in.
Yeah.
And that's what he did. He was gone for about 45 seconds.
Okay.
And when we got in the double doors, to the left there was an elevator. And he was like, you can get on this elevator and just press 2, and it's going to take you right to where your family at.
Okay.
And when I got off the elevator, they was all right there waiting on me.
Okay.
Now, had I been by myself, I would have just fought with the steps. I wasn't going to ask nobody to show me where, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, my wife was like, no, you're going to struggle to get up the steps. There's no rail. You know, the steps are small, so rather than do all of that, just stay here. I'm going to get somebody to,
Don't help.
you know.
Yeah.
Now, she couldn't leave and come back because we had the kids with us.
Yeah.
You know, she would have had to, like, leave them, and she wasn't going to do that.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's why I say, I don't know, tip number 4, whatever this number
Hey,
is.
just whatever.
Reach out to somebody.
Yeah.
You know.
And sometimes, you know, I've been places like in stores, and I had like customers, you know, come up to me and be like, "Hey,
Do you
know,
need some
you
help?"
Need something?
I had that happen too, yeah.
I had customers like, "Yeah, you know, I'll pay for that for you."
Now that's that's different. Yeah.
I had that happen several times, you know. I'll pay for that for you. Oh, okay, cool. I don't mind.
You know, and I had people that like offered to let me skip them, and it's like 3 or 4 people all at once.
I've had that several times too.
You know, I'm just standing in line. They're like, "Sir, was you waiting to check out?" Yeah, but I'm good. And like the person in front of me is like, "No, man, you can skip me." And I skipped that person, and the person in front of them was leaning back listening. So they look, skip me too, man. I ain't in no rush. I'm like, yeah. There's 2 more people in the front, and the one in front of that person, they was together. So they was just like, they stepped to the side, man, let this man go, man. I'm sure you busy. Go, come on, man, get up here. I'm like,
Yeah.
I can.
I remember I was downtown one time going to a haunted house, and the line was like wrapped around the building. And the guy at the door, I was like rolling by, trying to, you know, if I get to the end of the line. I heard somebody say, "Hey, hey,
Hey."
I look back, I'm like,
What?
I'm talking to me? Like, yeah, you. Where you going?
Yeah, you.
Like, where you going? I'm like, I'm going to get in the line. He's like, nah, come here.
He
Like,
said,
nah,
"Hey,
you go ahead and skip this line. Go ahead and go in. I'm like, all right,
Skip
cool.
the line, man. All these people.
Yeah, he let me skip the whole line. The line was around the building.
Man.
Uh,
You was by yourself or you were with some people?
nah, I had somebody with me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He said, "Hey, you, where you going?"
Yeah.
You VIP ain't even know it. We was waiting on you.
I didn't even know it, man. He just,
You know, and that's why I say, man, fear is a gripper, but it all starts in your mind.
yeah.
You know, that don't give none of us the right to be like, man, I'm arrogant. You know, like everywhere I go, people should like let me do. No, don't be like that. But just the fact that like you don't have to be afraid that this is unfamiliar territory. I don't think I want to deal with this. I don't know how I'm a. No, go for it.
Yeah, and there are still some people in this world with good hearts, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the thing. Like, you know, it's don't let your mind run away.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I would also say too, if you've never been to a place, like call in advance if you can, and ask a lot of questions. You know.
That's what I usually do.
Yeah, I've done that sometime too.
Yeah, I call just to make sure it's accessible. You know, I can get around.
Yeah.
You know.
You know, and again, for me, this is another tip I would give, and some people may or may not like this tip, but if it's an unfamiliar place, bring somebody with you, if you can. And I understand everybody's like, well, everybody don't have somebody to bring. You know, some people not married, some people don't have a lot of friends, some people don't. I don't want to argue. I'm just saying, if it's really somewhere you've never been, bring somebody with you, at least one person.
Yeah.
You know, with my family, I got a whole lot of people. I can bring. So, you know, I could still remember like training. You know, when I was working retail and they sent me out of state for training.
Yeah.
My mama was a wreck. She was like, "Why they want to put you on a plane and why the trainer couldn't be in Baton Rouge?" And my dad was like, "Well, he grown. He's good." And she was like, "You know what? And my dad is also named after, I'm named after my dad. And she was like, Chris, why don't you see if the company pay for a plane ticket and you go with them? And I asked my managers, like, would they, pay for my dad to go? And they was like, well, no, but we understand why he would want to go.
Mm-hmm.
And the manager told me, he was like, because we was a little nervous about you going, but they wanted people that just started working in the department to go to this training. And we kind of want you to go because you always represent us real good with everything else you did.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'd love to go because I ain't never flew, And they was like, we just want you to be extremely careful out there,
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, yeah, yes, sir. And they was like, so tell your dad, like, we won't pay for his ticket, but if he pays for a ticket, he's more than welcome to go.
Okay.
And my dad was like, you want me to go or you want me to stay? And I was like, man, I'd love for you to go. Also, it'd be a little adventurous for me to go because I've never been anywhere by myself.
Yeah.
So my dad was like, well, in that case, we know you got this, and I'm going to stay home. But if you need us, we'll phone call away. Don't hesitate. And my mama was just like, why would you leave him? Why would you let him go and you going to stay here? What kind of, But, she's a mom, and I'm the firstborn, so she just.
It was a wreck, huh?
Ooh.
My mom was the same way when I went to Florida. She was like, what if this happened? Like,
that's moms, though.
Regardless, I'm still going. It's going to be what it's going to be.
And the flight coming back to BR, man, I got sick, and they wouldn't let me on the plane. So I had to call my parents, and I called my dad, and I said, Dad, I got some news, and it's not good. He was like, okay. I said, Mama by you? He was like, yeah. You on speaker? What's going on? We need to come get you. I said, well, something going on with my body. I done got real sick, and they not letting me on the plane to get back to BR. So I don't know when I'm coming home.
I know she was finna have. I know she had a fit, huh?
The phone hung up.
Oh, it hung up?
Yeah. They was on the way there.
Oh man.
Shoot, so I ain't called back. Cause I'm thinking like they lost signal or whatever. They was packing stuff and everything.
Dang, they took off, huh?
They was finna come. And my dad said put one of the people in the airport on the phone. So I went to the front gate, the desk, and I told them what was going on with the phone call. And the lady was real nice. She knew it was my first time flying, and I put the phone on speaker, and my dad was talking to the lady, and he said, my son is real sick. He was telling me he's nauseous, and y'all not gonna let him on the flight. I understand.
Yeah.
What's his layover time and stuff like that? Because he's never flown. He doesn't know what to do.
Yeah.
And the lady was explaining to him like, oh, the second flight is just as quick as the first. It's not a long layover. We just want to make sure whatever's in his system, he got it all the way out, because he can't vomit and be in the air because of the turbulence.
Yeah.
That's very dangerous.
Yeah.
And my mom's in the background. Well, just tell him don't get on the plane. We'll come and get him. And, and my dad's like, hey, just calm down. And the lady was like, if y'all want me to, I'll stay next to him. I'll stay with him. That way I'll make sure he gets on the plane.
Yeah.
And my dad was like, you want us to come get you, or you want to try to make it on the plane? And between me being sick, I was able to get the words out that I wanted to try to get home myself. My dad was like, okay. We ain't heard from you in a couple hours. We coming. My mom was like, you gonna stay right there, and you gonna sit in the airport seat. She was panicking. But again, that's moms, you know. So, but I made it home, and the rest is history. You know what I'm saying? She was a nervous wreck.
Mom was finna say, well, we been in the car right now. If we can get you, we're gonna be there in 10 minutes.
I was in Arkansas. So
you was like hours away, but she said we're gonna be there in 10 minutes.
Yeah, they was ready. But I made it though, man.
As soon as you said I ain't coming home, click. Get them keys.
I'm like, bro, because I asked them when I got home, I was like, man, what happened with the phone?
Yeah,
somebody, whoever was holding it, like when I said it, I guess she dropped the phone, and that's how it.
Yeah. Because they was getting ready to be on their way.
So I'm like, yeah,
Wasting no time.
But now I know, like, if I go places now, I know what to do. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Not so much know what to expect, but just kind of have more information.
Yeah, it's that experience, you know.
Yeah. But man, I was scared when it first happened, but I can laugh about it now.
Yeah. Yeah, because you probably thinking, like, oh man, I ain't never going home.
Right, they telling me I can't get on the flight, man, and I was ready to go.
Like, I'm gonna be stuck in this airport for life.
But yeah, man, that's why I say, man, reach out to people, cause I understand like being afraid and not wanting to say nothing to nobody. You don't know how they gonna respond. But from my experience, not everybody's mean and hateful.
The unknown is always scary, you know. So
Right.
It's always scary. But once you get over that fear and you just do it,
Life's a blast.
it's easy.
Yep. It's easy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's why I say, like I said, my tip was bring somebody with you. If you can, bring them with you. And I was one. I'm gonna say it. I was one that felt like a little bit of shame having to go to certain places and having to have somebody with me because I can't carry this and that, so I'm gonna have to have somebody carry my stuff. You know what I'm saying? I don't know where to go, so I need somebody with me that know, where to go or what to do, what to say, what questions to ask. See what I'm saying? And I feel shame because I ain't feel grown. See what I'm saying? Now, I feel a little different about them situations because I got my wife. You know what I'm saying? So with some stuff, we experiencing it together, but I'm not by myself versus me being like 18, 20 and going somewhere I've never been and don't know who to talk to, what to say, where to go, you know. But all of that's part of the learning experience too, which is why we made this video. Being in unfamiliar spaces is part of life. You're not gonna know everything everywhere you go.
Yeah, life is a learning experience, you know.
It's a
From the
classroom.
beginning to the end, you know.
Yep.
It's gonna always be a learning curve.
Always.
But I mean, my tip is, ain't nothing to it but to do it. That's
Yes,
it.
sir.
Just do it.
But yeah, man, you got anything else?
Ain't nothing to it but to do it.
Man, I think I said everything, man.
Oh yeah, we got everything out, man. But yeah, I mean, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video.
And don't forget to catch us on Instagram at Independence is a Vibe, because you know that it is.
Yes, sir.
And we'll be back next week with another video.
And stay tuned.
And we out.
Peace.